Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Chapter 10, Circle Geometry. This will probably be a two-part video, just because the videos can only be 5 minutes long. So I don't want to rush through and miss anything. There are three or four definitions that are very important to know when we're dealing with circle geometry. The first is chord. Now, a chord is a line that starts and ends on the edges of the circle but does not touch the center of the circle. Okay, terminology is going to be very important in this section, so we need to make sure we're comfortable. So a chord starts and ends on the circle but does not touch the center. The radius. The radius is any line that goes from the outside of the circle to the center of the circle. Okay, so the radius always goes from the outside of the circle to the center. As well, because both this line here and this line here are both the radius, they are both equal. A central angle is an angle formed by two radii, which is the plural of radius. So as you can see, if we call this point C, angle ACB is a central angle because it is formed by two radii. There's one radius here, and there's one radius here. Next is an inscribed angle. An inscribed angle is formed by two chords. Now remember again, a chord is a line that starts and ends on the circle and does not touch the center. I'm just going to change colors here. Let's call this point D. Angle ADB is an inscribed angle because it is formed by two chords. AD is a chord because it does not touch the center of the circle, and line BD is a chord that does not touch the center of the circle. Therefore, this is what's known as an inscribed angle. There's a very important thing to note here. The measure of a central angle is always double an inscribed angle if they have the same endpoints. So if you look at these two angles, ACB and angle ADB, we can see they both have the same endpoints. They both start at A and end at B. Therefore, the measure of this central angle is double the inscribed angle. So if we said that the inscribed angle was a measurement of 40 degrees, that means that the measure of the central angle would be 80 degrees. Now let's look at one example before we move over to part 2 of the video. Example 1 says to determine the angle measures in a circle. It says point C is the center of the circle. Angle AEB is 35 degrees. AEB is 35 degrees. The first question is, what is the measure of ADB? And then what is the measure of ACB? Well, ADB is an inscribed angle with endpoints A and B, just like AEB was also an inscribed angle. So if two inscribed angles both have the same endpoints, A and B, then they are equal. So this one is 35 degrees because they have the same endpoints. The measure of angle ACB, which you can see here is a central angle formed by two radii. As we recall from right here, it is always double the inscribed angle. So if the inscribed angle was 35 degrees, then the central angle has to be 70 degrees because it is a central angle. There's a lot to take in this video. I would recommend watching it a couple more times, writing down those definitions yourself. And then I will post part 2 of the video in a moment here, and we can go over the rest of the examples. Thank you.